Hey folks, welcome back. Today we've got an FSD update to go through. It is FSD version 13.2.9. It is a point release. The previous version was 13.2.8. Not 100% sure what is different, if anything. We're going to test that out on a nice little test path here. We've got a little bit of everything, including an unprotected left turn here as soon as we exit this parking lot. And then the rest of the path will have a nice mixture of city and state roads, as well as a short, just a mile and a half, I think, on Interstate 87. We've got a bunch of roundabouts that we're going to go through. So we're just going to run it through all the paces, see if there's anything different between 13.2.9 and the 2.8. So I'm expecting good things, and we'll see what happens here. So let's go ahead and get it started. We'll let it do its thing. And it's going to take us out this end of the parking lot. So this being a point release, I don't know if this is more of a, and of course it has been a long time since we had an FSD update. I wonder, and it's stopping here for some traffic. I'm going to wave them through so that they go ahead. And I'm not positive if this really has any new update or if it's more of a cleanup. The fact that we've had such a pause. Now here's our unprotected left. We actually currently have no traffic coming, so it's making a nice turn there. All is good. The fact that we've had such a pause from the last version makes me wonder that the new version 14 that is rumored to be coming here in June, there's an excellent chance that might coincide with the debut of the Tesla Robotaxi down in Austin, Texas. I think they're just waiting on approval. I believe they're still waiting on approval to run their own in-house, Waymo-like robotaxi just around the Austin area. And my guess is we're going to, it's asking me to, because I'm looking around here just to give a quick tug on the wheel. I wonder if it is going to coincide the June event with the Robotaxi debut with FSD 14. Rumor has it that FSD 14 will be a major upgrade. It'll be interesting to see what kinds of elements are added here. As of now, 13.2.8, as smooth as it is, and I'll tell you, it really does drive like a normal human would drive. There's no way anybody outside the car would have any idea that it's the car driving and not me, not a person. So it's just that smooth. It's natural. The way it takes lanes, for the most part, is accurate and lifelike. It also likes to, well, so far it still will not yield and stop completely at a right turn or no right turn on red situation. So, a lot of times those signs are either electronic or they're temporary. It has to be able to read those signs. We have a few different intersections around here where you can turn right on red except during certain times of the day. And those times of the day are listed on the sign. So either those need to be programmed in one by one. That doesn't sound to me like the Tesla way. That's hard coding something and not allowing for variability. What really should happen is it should start to learn how to read those signs in context. We're not going to go through this intersection today, but there's an intersection about, I don't know, 5 or 8 miles from here, where you can turn right on red all of the time during the day, except Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And that's at the morning rush hour. They don't want people turning right on the red light at that particular intersection. But otherwise, it's okay. So the car needs to be able to read those signs at some point. It's going to have to know the context of those. We have other intersections where an electronic sign can either be enabled or disabled that says no turn on red. And it is not necessarily during times of the day. It's actually at different cycles in the traffic pattern at those intersections. They allow right turn on red, and other times they do not. And again, it's going to have to know how to read those. And in the case of those signs where they literally will turn on and off at, according to its own programming, it's going to have to be able to read those in real time and know whether it's okay to do that. So that's right turn on red. Sometimes it doesn't always, prep itself into the correct lane all the time. So, but for the most part, I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking here. Granted, right turn on red is definitely a no-no if it's called out as not being allowed. But for the most part, this thing is just so natural, so smooth. So I can't wait to see what a major step forward like what version 14 is promising. It'll be interesting to see. The one thing I've talked about before is at some point it's going to have to know the difference of, let's say you're navigating to McDonald's. Well, at some point it's going to have to be able to ask us, do we want to park in the parking lot or do we want to circle through the drive-through? And it's going to have to, be able to recognize the stopping points at a drive-through. There's the order screen, and then sometimes there's a payment window and then a pickup window, or sometimes you're skipping that initial window where payment might be taken and you pay and pick up your food at the next window. There's going to have to be a way to indicate preferences there, because those might be given on the fly. But also the car should know at least where the ordering screen, it's going to have to figure out from context clues and being fed, obviously, thousands and thousands of video clips of what the ordering area at a drive-through looks like. It's going to have to know what those things are, because eventually when there's no steering wheel, I'm talking 20 years from now, when no cars have steering wheels, then or only old cars have steering wheels, you're going to have to be able to indicate these kinds of things, like going through a drive-through, or do I want to park at the back of a parking lot or at the front of a parking lot? Do I need to park in a handicap spot? Do I need to park in another spot in the lot? So it really is something where it would be nice to start moving in that direction, where the driver can just give minimal input and the car also figuring out what it is we want to do here. That if we've indicated we want to go to a fast food restaurant, it should ask us, are we going inside or are we going through the drive-through? So hopefully version 14, I would love it. I'd be ecstatic if it gave us something really, really groundbreaking like that no other. Right now, as good as Waymo is in the limited cities where they operate, you can't tell a Waymo you want to go through a drive-through. That's not a thing. If Tesla can show something that no other, it's already such a great overall system, but if we can show something that really takes it to the next level, that no other driver assistance system is currently using, then that would really grab some attention, help push everyone else forward, and that's what I'm most excited for. So we'll have to see what happens. By the way, I do have the profile of this set on standard. It's on standard mode, so we're not on chill, we're not on hurry. Set to standard. I have a 10% offset. So, like in the 40 miles an hour, it said that the maximum speed it was going to do was 44. So I have a 10% offset that I'm allowing it to do in context. Sometimes it won't go that full 10%, but we'll see how it adjusts the speeds. I'm not expecting anything too crazy or different. I just want to run this through its paces as a bit of a first impression or first drive with this 13.2.9. So we're making the right here, and we're going to continue on State Route 67. So far, everything is as I would expect and as I've seen on the previous version. Smooth braking, smooth accelerating. Yeah, it's doing very well. Another groundbreaker, so to speak, if version 14 can start to be aware of potholes or manhole covers that are sunk especially deep into the road, because we want to avoid those if at all possible. That's less wear and tear on the car. It's also smoother for passengers and the driver for that matter. But it would be nice if the car could start to map and or dynamically sense potholes and drainage grates, manhole covers, that kind of thing, and try to smoothly go around them when possible. Nice left here at the light. We're going to continue straight at this light. This really is just so natural. There's no way that people on the outside here notice a single thing. We're not dragging too slow. We're not going too fast. We're not, making any erratic motions or turns or accelerations or anything. It's just so smooth and natural. Yep, it's it's slowing down just a little bit because of that pickup that pulled in front of us. Scoots over a little bit for that RAV4. Here's a dumpster in the road. So it's going to go around this nicely and cut right back in. I mean, just totally natural. So good. So good. No interventions. The only thing I've had to do, because I was looking around a little bit as I was talking instead of staring more or less out the front windshield, it was giving me a nag to go ahead and tap the wheel for a second. But I'm trying to maintain my focus straight out the windshield here so that it is able to keep it 100% hands off. I also am wearing a hat, but I'm going to keep the brim of the hat raised up a little bit here just to make sure that the camera that is here on the right above the center mirror, that it is able to clearly see my eyes. And I am wearing sunglasses. It can see my eyes through the sunglasses, which is really nice. Of course, a lot of people wear prescription sunglasses. These are not prescription, but we really want that camera to be able to see through sunglasses, because for a lot of people, they absolutely need their prescription sunglasses, and we want to be able to accommodate that. So it works great. Now we just went to a 45, and it's slowly accelerating. Yeah, super gradual. Almost couldn't even tell it was accelerating just from a seat of the pants type thing. Really smooth. So we're going to come up to a series, depending on the path you take, um, up here through Malta. In a 2 mile stretch, you can go through as many as, I think it's 9 or 10 roundabouts. The path I currently have in the navigation, I think we're going to go through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. We're going to go through 5 or 6 roundabouts here in the second half of this drive. We're approaching the second half here. And I always like to have it try these roundabouts because, again, we want to see how it is. It's the equivalent, really, of an unprotected left. It has to wait till it sees just the right opening and squeeze itself in. And what's also nice about these roundabouts, another test, is not all of the roundabouts are set up where the right hand lane through the roundabout has to make an immediate right or go straight, and the left hand one continues all the way around, 3/4 of the way around the roundabout. Others are set up where the right lane has to make an immediate first turn in the roundabout, and the left lane then continues around the other remaining exits on that roundabout. So it'll be nice to test again, does it pick the right lane for where we want to go, and all of that good stuff. It did go to 55 miles an hour now. It hasn't gone the 10% over, maybe because of the curves. It's just taking it a little, I wouldn't say cautious, but a little slower than what it otherwise could go. But that's fine. It's we actually don't have anybody really behind us. The next car behind us is a good 1/4 mile back. And so we're not holding anybody up, even if we're going. Oh, now we've got somebody stopped here. Let's see how well it brakes. Smooth. It probably could have started a little harder at the beginning once it noticed the truck was sitting there. But still, with a passenger, that was perfectly acceptable. It was a nice gradual stop, and I like the fact that even with no car ahead of us, it's not trying to overly accelerate to get back up to speed. It did it at a nice, comfortable pace. I wouldn't call it leisurely, but it also wasn't aggressive. So it was normal. That's the pattern, or that's the profile we're on. And still, if there was a car behind us, I'm convinced they would have no clue that a person was not handling the controls here. Obviously, I'm not touching any accelerator or brake. It's doing, I don't know if on that particular braking back there for the pickup truck that was stopped and making a left turn, it had to definitely stop by, pulling all the power off the accelerator and letting the regen take over. I don't know if it also had to blend in any friction brakes or not. I didn't hear it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It was pretty gentle, so just super natural. I know that I sound like a broken record, but it really is just so good, and it's crazy how far this has come just in the last year. A year ago, this was not this good at all. It could still really freak you out at certain intersections or making certain turns. Not now. I really, really am impressed, and it just works so good. So now it's dipping back to 45. Okay. Now here's the thing. It says 45, but it says it's at 55 max, which would not be correct. That is not 10% over. So if you 45 plus 10% would be 4.5. I think it would round up to 50. So now it is going okay. So now it has dialed its. That's a little weird that it's a delayed reaction on its max speed there being displayed. There is one area, it's getting on to 87 down by the airport, the Albany airport, where it's not a 65 mile an hour section of the interstate. Well, I don't know why we need wipers right now. Must have seen something on the windshield it didn't like. We can put that back to off. First roundabout. No problem. There was no traffic whatsoever. It's putting on the turn signal to show that we're exiting the roundabout here. And there's one more roundabout up here. It's just a little... well, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I'll see it when I edit the video. Now here, we really want to be... Yeah, this is the lane that only technically goes to the left when we get up here. Goes 3/4 of the way around. We really want to be in the right lane in order to go straight. But right now, I don't believe we have any conflicting traffic, so I'm going to let it do its thing. Okay, I can't say that that's different than how it was on 13.2.8, but that's an area where it needs to be able to read the arrows on the ground to show which exit in the roundabout we're taking to determine which lane we should be in. It really should have been in the right-hand lane in that roundabout, and instead it stayed in the left. So, got to docket a point there. But I've seen 13.2.8 do the exact same thing, so I can't fault the new version for that. And that was what I meant by getting into the correct lane. There are other intersections where we would be in the left lane in order to make that straight through the roundabout, but at this particular one, you had to be in the right lane. This little section here is a little spur that was added on almost as a bypass for 87 to get from exit 11 to exit 12 without having to go back out onto the highway. Back to 45. Now let's see how long it takes it to dial the max speed from 55 back to 50. Still hasn't yet. Okay. Another roundabout. There's only one lane here, and we're going to take the first exit. Nobody coming. Beautiful. And now we are going to get onto 87, I-87 North. This is at exit, we're entering at exit 11. We're going to go up to exit 12. Right turn on red. Perfectly good. Nice. Accelerate up the hill. This section of 87 is 65 miles an hour. So it should set its cruise at 71 or 72. I believe it rounds up. So it'll go to 72. And it does, on this 3-lane road, it does like to favor the middle lane, which is what I usually do as well. and it's not really an intervention. I'm just going to dial this back for the max speed to 70. I like 10% max around on the city streets, but here 10% over would be 72. That's just on the cusp of where you could get pulled over for going, well, 72 indicated on this is actually 71 GPS. Would a cop pull you over for 71 in a 65? Maybe. That's a not really likely, but it's not a never either. I like to set the indicated speed at 70, which GPS I've tested is actually 69 miles an hour. Nobody is going to pull you when it's 65 miles an hour. They're not interested in pulling anybody over that's going 60 something. They're looking for people going 70 something, or of course 80 something. So I usually set the cruise to 5 over indicated, and knowing that we're really going 1 mile an hour slower than that, I'm going basically as fast as I can go with zero need to worry about anything as far as going too fast. So, okay, next roundabout. It is in the correct lane. Technically, both of these perfect. There is a car coming on there, but it got right out in front comfortably. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right around the circle. Now up here, after this roundabout, the 2 lanes converge into one because another lane is the off-ramp lane is coming in as well. So these 2 lanes are going to converge into one. Currently, we do not have anybody right next to us, so it's not having to compete with anyone, but it did wonderful there. Stayed a nice distance behind the car in front of us. Now we'll see how it handles this one. There's also 2 lanes converging into one, and this time I do have an F-150 on my back quarter panel here following me around. But yeah, this is perfect. I just accelerated, the car just accelerated a little bit, made sure to stay ahead of him, and nicely combined into one lane. Totally natural, totally human-like. Just so good around these roundabouts. I think that's the end of the roundabouts, and we're just about 1.75 miles from our destination. So yeah, I didn't see anything. I didn't see any regression. I didn't see anything get worse. I also didn't see anything that was a noticeable improvement. And frankly, without making one of those other leaps, like the no right turn on reds when those are indicated, or a real mind blower like, hey, if you want to go through a Burger King drive-through, the car's now ready to stop at the order screen and then drive ahead to the pickup window. I mean, that would just, everyone would start just going through drive-thrus just for the heck of it, just to test it. All the restaurants would get a little boost in business when that becomes live. But actually, as more of a priority, frankly, I'd settle for being able to navigate around the potholes and the deeper impressions in the road. Manhole covers and drainage grates and that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll see some real, super solid, tangible improvements like that. Because frankly, just the normal driving on the interstate, driving around town, making the lefts and the rights, whether at a light or no light, I don't want to say it's boring because I'm still definitely paying attention, but boy, it's I don't have any thought ahead of time as we approach any of those scenarios that, wow, I really got to watch out for this, or it's been not making unprotected left turns very nicely, and so we're ultra sensitive to those. None of that. It's just so good. The normal, what I'm going to call normal quote unquote driving, is uneventful. It's almost to the point where it's boring. So I think that bodes well for what version 14 might give us. We might see some really awesome feature improvements, because the normal driving part, if you ask me, is it's kind of solved. It's done that. It's so smooth. It keeps you in the middle of your lane to the inch. You're in the middle of your lane the whole time. This is our destination here. We'll have to make a left into the parking lot. I'm not sure if it's going to actually park in a spot or if it's just going to pull up in front of the business. I have it pulling up in front of the Curtis Lumber headquarters store. Keep right there. Very good. So it shows on the map here that it's going to park or come to a stop right up here. Now there was a speed bump that it didn't really notice, but that's all right. And now I wonder if it's going to just pause. It is. That's fine. I think what I'm going to do is just pull off into a parking spot, because I don't want to sit in front of what is otherwise a fire lane, and that's the main lane coming in. So super smooth. Man, oh man, would love to hear your thoughts on anything you saw it do that, other than that, it didn't pick the right lane at one of the roundabouts, but it's done that before. Let me know in the comments anything you folks have seen with 13.2.9, and any differences you've seen from the previous version. Let me know of any other challenges you'd like me to put this one through. Happy to do that, and we'll all just look forward to what's coming up with version 14. That's it for now. Take care. Keep your wheels below you. Keep on tripping. Take care. Bye-bye.